Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford. Wait, down there. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And it is actually Christmas Day. If you're watching this on Christmas Day, which in a weird way I kind of hope you're not, I guess. Like, I hope you're doing other stuff. But if you're watching this on Christmas Day, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you feel like celebrating. Hope you have a great that. Chris, how's it going?
It is going great. I just woke up, just opened up all the presents that I got, had the kids open up presents. We're recording this on Christmas Day.
Right, we
Uh, you
closed our
know,
doors so our families could leave us
yeah.
alone on Christmas Day. It's it's
Just taking
definitely
time away from my family so we can record this for all 10, maybe more of you.
that's what I want to. 10 does feel like an understatement these days. I feel like we can safely say, like, is it arrogant to be like all 100 of you? Is that too far?
No, yeah, I think that's too far. That's too
Okay,
far.
that's too far. That's too far.
Okay.
Well, for however many of you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, Chris, any. I
Also,
know.
we're not that great. We're not recording on Christmas, guys. We recorded this before
Oh,
Christmas.
yeah, it's definitely like
I have not
60
even put up my
degrees
tree yet.
outside right now, Chris Ford. It's literally like 60 degrees outside. It's not Christmas. I know we buy our own Christmas presents, Chris, but anything particular on your wish list this year?
I'm about to go pick up a sound bar and subwoofer
Oh, sick.
from Walmart. I'll see if it's worth it. If not, I'll just take it back. Thing is, I have like an old stereo system right now hooked up to it, and I just figured out a way to hook it up for some reason because it's very old, and so I had to buy a converter essentially. They converted a auxiliary, they converted optical to auxiliary, or vice versa. And now that works. Now I might not even need it, but it should probably still honestly be better than what I have. But would it be better enough that I should take it? Does it constitute spending like $200 on it? If it doesn't, then I will gladly take it back and spend that money somewhere else.
I don't know how fast like sound technology progresses, but I don't know. I could see there being a big leap in there. I don't know anything. I'm a
Yeah.
terrible audiophile. I I
I am too. I had to look up like what do I look for in buying a sound bar? Like I didn't understand like two channels and the wattage. Thing is, I probably should understand those things because I used to have a car stereo system, had an amp in the back and like two 12s and two 6x9s, had a two channel 1080 amp. And for some reason I never put together like what those numbers meant. I just knew, oh, high is good. And my dad's like really smart when it comes to those things.
That was
Um,
right up his alley.
yeah. So
I
he hooked all that up for me.
I got nothing. I know that I like it with. I had a sound bar at one point, and it did not have the 3.5 millimeter jack, and
Mm.
I don't know why, but I was adamant, and I don't even remember why at the time. This is just like 3 years ago. It's like I needed it to have the 3.5 millimeter jack, and so then I took it back. And that's all I remember.
New phones nowadays don't even have
Don't even,
that.
maybe that was it. Maybe it was a phone or a laptop thing that I wanted to do specifically. I don't recall. It was probably stupid. Me being stupid, not the soundbar. Chris, also heads up, I just noticed this. Your microphone must be in your ear, so when you stretched back and covered your ear, it muted it pretty bad. I still heard you, like you don't have to repeat anything, but wherever you
Huh.
did with your hands, like
Can I do
when you when
this?
you
Can you hear
stretched,
me? La 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 la
when
la
you
la la
stretched or something.
la la.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's just a coincidence. But well, hey, congratulations on buying your own Christmas presents. My wife asked me what I was getting myself for Christmas, and I said Switch games, and she said which ones. I said I really don't know, just
All
any
of
of
them.
them.
All of them.
Wait,
It's that Gary Oldman.
more. Uh, no, no. I just kind of pointed, and I was like, any of the way too many that I've bought between like Black Friday and right now. So
You recently shared a picture of all your Switch games, and I showed it to my daughter. I said, "Look, these are Sean's games," and then she was like, "What?"
have you
And then
bought her
because she's
Yu-Gi-Oh
smart,
yet? I almost bought her
uh,
Yu-Gi-Oh for you.
oh, I'm glad you didn't. I didn't. I got it off of Amazon physical for like
Okay.
half off. It was like $20. So,
Excellent. It is well
yeah.
worth 20 bucks for her. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Uh, but so she did the math real quick. She counted across, so she counted down. She's like, okay, well, like sits times this number is this number, and then he has like a little bit less over here, so add that to it, and then she came with like 130 something. I don't
No, I think that's pretty close. I
know.
don't have an exact count right now, and because I know that Heather also like took some out of the stack to like wrap up just to look good, and then because gotta have something
She
under the
did
tree.
say no pressure, Shawn. She did say that he should give me the EV game. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a good game. She'll love it. No, she's gonna love Yu-Gi-Oh, especially with her attention to detail on the show. The
Mm-hmm.
way that the game follows the show so religiously, like it doesn't play cutscenes; it just displays them in crappy dialogue, but it's like religious to the text.
Oh, nice.
So she's gonna recognize exactly what's happening from the show, and she's gonna eat it up. I will. I will
You'll
attest to it.
feel very proud. Like right now, she's into Harry Potter. Well, I won't say she's into it, but she's marathoning through them all because I was just randomly watching Harry Potter, and
Because it's a
then
Christmas movie.
yeah, because it's a Christmas movie, and
Harry
and
Potter is a Christmas movie. Why? Because they experience Christmas.
yes, that's why, Shawn. It's why cinnamon rolls go with cinnamon rolls go with chili. It just goes together. I don't know if that's a Midwest thing or not.
I don't know what constitutes Midwest. I know a lot of people in
I know,
like
right?
everywhere here. It feels like everybody's like cinnamon rolls and chili, and I know that people
Also,
sometimes
Oklahoma's a thing.
it's in so Oklahoma, Kansas, we got that covered. When I lived in St. Louis, it's a big deal there too, right? So at
Mm.
least this portion. But what I hate is that some people will put the cinnamon roll on the like they won't get a plate; they'll just get a bowl of chili, and they'll just put the cinnamon roll on the chili. It's not like they're blending it or whatever, but like they're putting it on the. No,
No, you
ew,
can't do that.
why?
They go together, Shawn, but they can't touch.
No,
They
they
can't
can't touch.
touch.
They can't even hold
Yeah,
hands.
good.
They need to be
No,
separated.
good.
I need two dishes with separation. They can share a wall.
They're like
They
they're like they're like step cousins who have intimate looks at each other, but know that they can't touch. they're like what the
yeah.
Brady's kids. Like there's no real reason why, but
They
like
just
no, yeah,
right. They can make goofy
no touch,
eyeballs,
no touch.
but when it's in Sean's house, they ain't touching each other.
Yeah.
Outside of Sean's house, I guess I don't care so much. Whatever, your step cousins, knock yourselves out. But in my house, the cinnamon rolls, even the cornbread, which makes a little more sense that if you want cornbread in your chili, like I can kind of palate
Cornbread
that.
makes sense. Cornbread and chili, I think is good.
I still don't care for it. I still kind of want them separate, but that's just me
Yeah.
being kind of weird. I accept that. Anyway, your daughter is into Harry Potter and Yu-Gi-Oh, so
Yes. So we
she's
were
little
just
Sean. Is
dueling.
really what she
We were
is.
just we were just dueling and watching Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, you were doing her while you were. That's actually kind
Yeah.
of my. That's like a dream for me. Heather's
All right.
never agreed to learn Yu-Gi-Oh, unfortunately, which I feel is a little sad.
Come on. Tell her my 9-year-old daughter is picking that up. I don't think that. I don't think. I
That
don't
might be
think
the
the.
wrong angle.
No. Well, I don't. I don't think that
Hey, you know how I love this
the.
TV show? Well, Chris's 9-year-old daughter also loves it, and we think that means that you should like it. Chris, I think even you'll see her playing the game, and it's gonna like trigger. I'm not saying you're gonna want to go watch the episodes, but it's just gonna trigger the memories. You're gonna read some of the
No, well,
text and go,
she's been watching. No, I am like weirdly more back into Yu-Gi-Oh now. I'm like looking up ban lists and and looking up like card effects, and then I'm forgetting like, wait, if we do this, does this trigger this and this and this? And then like she's still watching the episode, she's watching all the way through, and now I'm kind of back into. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how good the show Yu-Gi-Oh actually was, because even though I'm like it's kind of corny and stuff, but like I'm still into it. Like when like I forget how great the Battle City stuff was with all the Egyptian gods and Yugi learning more about or Yami learning more about himself and stuff like that.
the things that you forget about, or at least me, I won't speak on behalf of everybody, is like how big those sections are of not Yu-Gi-Oh that they cram into there. So like in the virtual reality section, and in my head it's like,
That
oh,
was
that was like a
dumb.
2 episode thing. It's like no, that was like a basically a season of a TV show's worth of crap. The Dungeon Dice Monsters, that's like a 3 episode series, and then that guy just tags along with him, even though he's douchebag. And then, so you kind of forget about all the not Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that they cram in there. Or at least you minimize it in your head. And in reality, it's like half the show. But I love Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
as a TV show. Absolutely love it. Glad she's into it. She's going to dig the game, guaranteed. But if she wants to borrow the Eevee game, that's obviously I'm pro making kids play Pokemon. Also, Chris, as our Christmas treat to everyone, we've decided to check off Santa's Naughty and Nice list of Book 3 change episodes. And that's just our corny, topical title way of saying that we're going to look at the top and bottom episodes from the book. Because this one's only 13, instead of doing the normal top and bottom 5, we just did 3. I did throw a couple honorable mentions in there that were real close, but we just did 3. And then Chris, because you're just coming into this blind, sorry, I did all the naughty list first, the bad episodes first, and then the nice second, so we can go out on a positive note.
Nice.
Sound good? I see what you did there. All right, let's do this. So starting on the naughty list, number 11 in rankings.
Holy
number
crap!
11
In Harm's Way. Wait,
13.
man, I kind of forgot what happened in Harm's Way. No,
Okay,
I think
and it is one where stuff kind of blurs together. This shocked me as well, but then when I looked at the ratings, like there's very few outliers. Like most stuff in this season is in a very small swath of ratingsville. So In Harm's Way did feel out of place. I'll pull it up in my phone to make sure I got the details on which episode we're talking about.
Well, do you have the scores also?
No, but I can pull them up. I didn't
Okay,
think
great.
about that.
Yeah, I would love to know these scores so we can compare.
No, that's a
and
great
contrast.
point. I don't know why I didn't put them in there. That was a silly choice. Anyway, In Harm's Way, Avatar Wiki. That's what I don't claim to know anything. All my information comes directly from Chris and the Avatar Wiki. Chris, do you remember what happens in this episode or why it may have landed where it did?
Wait, is In Harm's Way the one where? Why can't I think of? 1 second, I gotta grab.
Yeah, I got to too. There's too much. It's episode 4.
Episode 4. Now I feel like we're unprofessional here. Don't even know what the.
I rely on you to know everything. I'm sorry. That's a lot of pressure.
I know. The thing is, the title In Harm's Way, for some reason, when I think of that title, I think of the episode where Korra gets kidnapped. No, that's not. I always know that that's not it, but I feel like it would be a good title for that.
This one, the Avatar Wiki summary is essentially Lord Zuko, Tonrak, Desna, and Eska face Gazan, Zahir, and
Oh
Ming
my
Hua
gosh, Shawn,
in
I
an
love that
attempt
episode. They have such a great battle. Oh,
to-
and the Ming Hua escape.
I'll pull up the ratings here, but yeah, everything in this season, there's kind of 2 outliers on either end.
Oh, and then they had that fight to get the Airbenders away from Earth Queen. So yeah, this might just be one of those cases where
you're upset.
yeah,
I can tell.
yeah, I'm upset, Shawn.
You
Upset.
Oh, everybody's gonna see the ratings if here. Let me put them over here like this.
Oh, what are you doing, Shawn?
Everybody can. I don't think they can see them now. Okay, so this one, episode 4, got an 8.02.
That's still great.
That is great.
I mean, that's great.
And so, in my defense, also, you only rated this an 8.25. So I'm not going to take the heat for dragging this one down.
I mean, you clearly were below probably a 8, though.
Yeah, a 7.8. You're at 8.2. So
no, you're at fault.
No. Merry Christmas, everybody. No, this was not the biggest discrepancy we had, not by a long shot. This was a relatively mild discrepancy between our 2 scores. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think that episode's great. It's just a matter of like this is a testament to how good I think the season is. That the third worst episode had 8 point, pretty much got an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and again, there were kind of 2 serious outliers on either end, and then this one just by chance happens to be the next lowest. That's really all there is to say. I have no qualms with this episode. I enjoy it. It's good. which means that number 12 is the Metal Clan, and it's not horribly farther below. It came in at, where is that? 7.9. So
Hmm.
it was, I mean, it's below
I
an
think I
8,
think
but it's
I
close
think
to
part of
one.
that is that it's early in the season, kind of set some things up, and really that sets up that's like part one of that Lin and Su Yin dynamic,
It is,
kind
but
of
you want
set
to know
things up.
something funny? Is that 4 and 5, so the previous episode and this episode aired aired the same day.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me
I
because
just
they
read
were
that
like
now on the
kind
Avatar wiki. I'm not that smart. I literally just read it 5 seconds ago.
no, I figured you weren't that smart because I wouldn't know.
Chris is in a very sharp mood this Christmas.
I know, I know.
Just be
I'm ball busted and chop dusting. That was from Scrubs. No, busting chops. Busting chops. Chop.
busting
Rock
balls and
dusting.
chops. I forget how he says it. I know what reference you're aiming
So
for, but I kind of
okay.
forget how he words it. But at least the Metal Clan made more sense to me. So I still had it rated as an 8.1. You had it as a 7.7. But
Hmm.
at least it still stood out to me as, like, in my memory, I was like, oh yeah, we both were a little lower on this one, but
Yeah,
we're still kind of talking minutia here. It's not a bad
I
episode
think
by any
so.
stretch.
And really, and again, this season, like those are great. Those are really good episodes, I think. Like comparing that to like stuff in book one and of regular Avatar or stuff in book two of Legend of Korra, like these are some really good episodes. And sure, they're not like just setting the world on fire, but they're setting stuff up, setting
Mm-hmm.
some character stuff up that's really important. Um, I think Metal Clan says a lot about um, Lin Beifong and her growth or her state of mind, especially when it comes to relation to her sister, relation to Toph, her mother. It's interesting enough because a lot of these episodes are pretty much two-parters. If we put, say if we separated out um, in regular Avatar, say we separated out the winter solstices, I would put probably the Metal Clan above the Winter Solstice Part One, where we meet Heibai.
And
Um,
we try to
so
acknowledge that too. Like when we're rating those together, we'll kind of
yeah,
dock things a little bit for, like, yeah, it was amazing, but don't forget it also had 40 minutes to work with. Because I think your point here of how many of these could you just put into pairs that would make perfect sense,
yeah,
and then it would probably be fine.
yeah.
But Chris, just for a little context, your bottom two, so this one and the next one, you had rated the same. This one I had rated
Hmm.
8.1, but then I had rated the next one, our last contestant, our quote unquote worst, relatively speaking, episode, the original Airbenders. I remember disliking it, but I had this at a 6.8. I don't remember disliking it all that much, but I had it pretty, I was kind of harsh. Maybe I was in a bad mood that
Yeah.
day. I don't know.
So what was our total score for the original Airbenders?
So, original Airbenders, our total score was 7.23.
I think that's pretty bad. I think I must have given it more credit
You
for.
you did the same. You did essentially 7.7 on this one and the Metal Clan, so you kind of had them in the same
Holy
category.
crap! Yeah.
I
Something
would
else must
say
have
that
happened
this
with
one
them.
is definitively. I mean, obviously, I'm
Oh,
biased.
I know why. It all had to do with booming. Like even though I don't
Yeah, that's
like this
fair.
episode and I can kind of skip this episode, to me there's so much more character work done with Boomy and understanding where he was coming from because he's such an underappreciated character because I mean he was the first child of Avatar Aang and Katara. Like he has such the highest expectations, and I'm sure they were really nice parents and stuff, and that they're like really supportive of him and everything. But there's no doubt about it that I think they're still disappointed that he wasn't a bender. Like they're both benders of the highest caliber. Like of
And then
course
your
they're
first kid
disappointed, but
is.
still, yeah. But of course they still loved their son as much as they loved the other two. But you can still and they wouldn't admit this to him, I'm sure. It goes unsaid, but they could still be disappointed. And so all of that, I think, uh, came to a crash here in this episode where he's like, "I never wanted to be an airbender." Like he's lying to himself. Like he knows he wanted to be an airbender, but I think he's afraid to not live up to the expectations of being a bender, uh, of being a person who's supposed to hold the legacy, responsible for the legacy of Avatar Aang. And I
If
think that said a lot about him.
if I metaphorically twist your arm though, and I forced you to pick between this episode and the Metal Clan, of which is worse, since you rated them the same?
Um, I would say the Metal Clan is better. 'Cause I think with the original Airbenders, that's an episode that I feel like I could skip. I would never skip it. That's an episode I feel like I could skip, but I would probably never skip the Metal Clan. But also, out of all the episodes, the original Airbenders is the one that feels like it doesn't belong. It doesn't have its equal pair
It feels
like
a
most of the other
little,
ones do.
yeah. It just feels a little out of place in the whole narrative of season 3. But whatever. I was probably too harsh on it, but I have no issue thinking that it's the worst episode of the season. But I was probably a little harsh
Mhm.
on it with my ratings that day. It happens. So there's our bottom 3. I did want to call. I had 2 honorable mentions that were kind of close. So episode 3 is the Earth Queen. That was an 8.07. So In Harm's
Mm.
Way was an 8.02. So those are extremely close. And then Old Wounds is an 8.11. So again, you're talking about really good
What
episodes
did
in
I
there.
give? What did I give Old Wounds?
Old Wounds, which one's that? That one's 6. You gave it an 8.4. I gave it a 7.8. So that was
Yeah, that
probably
see that doesn't surprise me. I can't
our
wait,
second
Shawn,
biggest discrepancy.
until one is that we're going to do a episode themed The Great Divide, where we kind of cover our greatest discrepancies in scores
That's such a
and
clever name
battle
for
it
that
out.
too. It's going to be beautiful. That's our second biggest discrepancy. Our biggest discrepancy is actually still the original Airbenders, but second
Mm,
largest is Old Wounds. And it, as
that's
we've
interesting.
talked time and time again, just comes down to preference of what we enjoy seeing in our shows, and I
Yeah.
don't care for that one too much. Hey, but I still rated it like a 7.8, so I did not like it all that much. Let's go to the good side. Let's think about some positives, end on some good notes. So the third best episode in this season is The Ultimatum, and that is episode 11.
Yeah,
And
I think we can go back to the slide now. I think we can take it from here. The ultimatum.
oh, you mean over
The
here? Over here on my. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Oh wait. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
tripping.
The people are still seeing the slide. It was just you that were being intentionally blinded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I'm glad that we didn't give people a peek behind the curtain. So if anyone doesn't know, I was able to see Sean's whole spreadsheet that has all of our scores there.
Spreadsheets for
Um,
life.
oh yeah, love spreadsheets.
Always.
But the ultimatum. Um, one of the things that I think this was mostly just story driven things. I don't think there's much action sequences really in the ultimatum. I just really enjoyed so much of the uh, thought process about Korra and like should she give herself up, things like that. Also, I think this is one of the episodes where the grandma made me laugh like hysterically. Like, it's just
Yeah,
funny.
she's very well played.
Yeah, it's really interesting. This episode does not have. Oh, oh, it does have really good action. The last 6 minutes is action packed. It has the Tenzin versus Ahir, Gazan versus
When Tenzin like blows them all out
Abumi.
of the water right away, but then
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great
Yeah,
fight.
holy crap. Yeah. So,
So maybe
you
it does just have a little bit of everything. Like we've already discussed, a little comedy, a little action, tons of story.
yeah, it's a really good um just a really good there's a very smart word I'm thinking of, but I won't think
What's
of
it
it.
like? A prototype, a prototype
Mm,
great Avatar episode. Like this is what your good Avatar
sure.
episodes need to have.
Yeah, great comedy, great action, some great story beats. It's interesting because it's really kind of a slow episode until the last 6 minutes of it. Because I'm thinking like, man, what was the big action scene here? But seeing how Tenzin was willing to put everything online, not compromise, that was one of the most memorable moments. That's probably my interesting. We should do a top moment. Did we do this episode? Best moment for each character? Like we could do a whole series of episodes about the best moments for
Chris, we got a
each
lot of
character.
weeks of content we got to live out till the live
I
action
know, right?
comes. Okay, so you got to keep these ideas, keep them coming.
Don't well now I can feel about 20 episodes worth, half a year worth almost. Just do one episode per character.
I think maybe
Of just their top
next
10
week
moments.
in next week's episode might not be the worst time to pick a like a favorite moment or two
Yeah.
in
If
next
anyone wants
week's
to give
episode.
us like characters they want us to go over our top moments of them,
Oh, that'd be fun.
we'll
Yeah. Or give us your favorite character and your top moment, and then
I
we'll.
mean, we'll eventually get down to like the Cabbage Man if we have to
But will
keep
we do the
buying
Cabbage
time.
Man before the foaming mouth guy or after?
Well, and Cabbage and not to give too much credit to the Cabbage Man, he has more moments.
More to
Like the
choose from, right?
foaming mouth guy just has to rank, and I would rank the second one above because
The
it's
timing
so
is
hilarious.
just
Like
ideal
he,
for his
he
second
comes
one.
out screaming for Aang, just and Aang's not here, and he's like. He wipes off the foam
Yeah,
off his mouth, and then for some reason puts his but he doesn't. He's not wearing a hood. He's just wearing a shirt. But he
just
puts
puts
the
his shirt
shirt
up over,
over his head as if he's wearing a hood, and just like squaddles
which is
away, even
pretty
though squaddle's not a
solid,
word.
like fanboy. That
Yeah,
captured that well. Yeah, yeah. Well,
uh,
someday we'll go over all the character moments.
only mouth guy. So much better than cabbage guy.
Ouch,
So
man.
much better. Anyway, we had that debate already. Anyway, oh, the ultimatum. Great episode. Great
Excellent,
episode.
excellent episode, but not perfect, Chris. Not perfect. What could it have
True.
done to be better? It could have been book three.
Oh,
What
oh man.
the? Looks like a hit. I use Control H a lot when I'm making these, and so when I Control H, and I must have replaced the title that was there. Chris, I had Venom of the Red Lotus here, but it is a tie for first place, and so tie number
Hmm.
one is Venom of the Red Lotus, which is episode 13 of the series, and I'm really sorry that I Control H replaced it with the title of our next PowerPoint.
Over next episode.
Spoiler
Um,
alert.
so it's a tie between Enter the Void
Yeah, do we
and
just
Venom of the
yeah, I'll
Red
bring it up.
Lotus.
That's fine. Tie for first
Um,
place. And for
I mean,
context, we had them rated
so
all tens.
yeah, all tens. Yeah, yeah, man, wow. That's a really solid, not solid, solid's an understatement. That's a really great finale. All tens from each of us. I'm pretty sure we probably gave the Atla finale the same. If I had to guess, there's probably a
The
couple.
finale, right? The finale we did, but not the
True,
individual.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
yeah, which is interesting because I'm not sure. I mean, we'll get to it, and I'll be able to look more. I'm not sure I would give the final episode of Legend of Korra all tens.
I'll be interested to
Maybe I would.
see. I don't
I mean,
think I would
I
either,
could
but I've been wrong
see.
before.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I could. I mean, because I mean, I have it in my head
Okay,
now.
but would you
I
give
could.
it all tens? Not how do I say this? I think when we rate it, I hope that we don't rate it as the finale of the entire Korra show. Like I think it needs to be rated as the
No,
finale of.
no. I don't think. I don't even think of that episode as the finale of the show. Like, especially, I think of it just as the finale of the season
Yeah,
because
I
to me,
don't think.
Legend of Korra is so much different from Avatar that it is every season its own story, and it doesn't
Yeah,
feel like a TV series finale. It feels like a season finale. And I think even as a season finale, I would probably still give it a 10 out of
I
10.
don't think I'll be
Mm,
there, but I change over time and things. We'll see. Chris,
I
I'm
think,
gonna go rogue here, and I'm actually gonna pull up another thing just to kind of prove our point a little further, and that's that the first honorable mention was episode 10, "Long Live the Queen," and it was very close to the Ultimatum.
Mm.
So, and all I wanted to point that out was in a sense here,
What?
you've got 4 episodes all at the end that are the 4 best episodes of a tremendous season. And I thought that was worth
Yeah,
pointing out.
the thing that probably took Long Live the Queen down is that it's not as action heavy.
No, it's a little bit of
Sure,
a slower
Korra,
burn.
yeah, but it's just that ending, man. And
Yeah.
Zahir's dialogue and like like that's one of my top villain moments right there in
That's
that monologue of just him saying like to you, freedom is something that I'm gonna
You
butcher
think
it.
freedom
But
is
anyway,
something you can give and take
yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, you think freedom's something you can give or take, but it's essential as air. Or maybe it says essential as breathing. I think he says essential as air. And then as he takes the air away from the Earth Queen, holy crap! I've never seen. I think this is one of the best examples of 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 voice acting and direction and art direction just working so in unison together. Like I don't think I've seen another example of that in the show where the script is doing a lot of work, but at the same time that the animation is in direction is doing a lot of work.
It
And
usually
then there's a couple
feels
different
like
instances
there's
of
some
that.
sacrifices made on the actual style
Yes.
side of things, in my
Yeah. So like
opinion.
usually like when we see like great animation, like we think of fights and stuff like that. Um, when usually there's not much dialogue in those cases. And so I feel like you usually don't get that sense. I think maybe a couple different times in Avatar I get that sense. Maybe like when Zuko uh when Zuko's confronting his father, right? And then like um his father is like, your mother was banished. But banishment is far too merciful punishment for you. And at the same time, you see the son going over the moon is like your punishment will be far more severe. And then also right before that, when and so like those two things are working really well together. Like that visual is connecting with the words on the page. I mean, and that's not and that dialogue there isn't nearly as good as the hero's monologue. Um, but there's another case within that of when Zuko is like and this is just great voice acted by Dante Bosco. When he tells her that like she's still alive, she just vanished, and he says like, "So she's alive." Like he gets like something really great voice. I mean, he gets how when you get like really cry, you get kind of a frog in your throat, and he acted out really well. And at the same time, there's a tear coming down one eye, but his other eye, his burnt eye, actually wells up with some tears. Which at one point Bryan and Mike said like that eye is really difficult. Like so much of that has been burnt and stuff that he can't really cry in that eye. He can't form tears, which probably means he has a really dry eye.
That probably feels terrible.
Yeah, he's probably just walking around all day, just like, ugh. Ugh. Um, and but he's actually able to form tears. And that's the first time in the series you see that eye. Like you see Zuko cry a billion times. That's the first time you see that eye well up with tears. But the other one did do a full on cry. But that's another great example.
And not into to your point, it just doesn't sacrifice really on either side. Where like I mean, I'm just thinking of other TV shows, other cartoons and things where you absolutely are making one sacrifice. Like you either get the dialogue for the story heavy pieces,
Hmm.
or there's no dialogue because they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
And you don't feel that at all here in any of these episodes. I know we're not supposed to view these as a group finale or anything, but there's just like these 4 episodes where it really ramps up from being like a really good story to an oh crap story.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I would never want to watch any of these 4 without having just watched the whole set. Like if I get to this point, and
Yeah.
just since we've started on this season, I've probably done it 3 times. Where I better rewatch this. It's been a couple weeks since we talked, but then I'll end up watching through to the end because as soon as I hit "Long Live the Queen," like I don't want to stop
Mhm.
at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can kind of pick nits between them all we want and say, yeah, no, they're not a group finale, but in my head, it's like I gotta watch all four. I can't not.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Um. Yeah.
Can I twist your arm
So.
again and say if you had to pick? I think we kind of alluded to it already when we did the episode, but since we have two tens, is there a better 10 and a worse 10? Which episode
Oh
is your
man.
real number one?
Jeez. Holy crap.
I can tell you mine's
Um.
Enter the Void, but I feel like I could see yours going the other way.
uh. Um. This is actually really hard because I feel like with Enter the Void, you have you have some great core
Chrissy
sacrificing,
flies.
and then
Pali dies. She gets her head blown into smithereens,
I
and then
know,
he
right?
flies. It's
Even,
incredible.
so even before that, you have some great character work done with Korra. She's like willing to sacrifice herself for the new Air Nation. She says goodbye to everybody, and the goodbye feels very final. It feels like you're doing like we really don't know Korra if you're going to survive this. Like it's probably not a high chance that our plan is going to work.
Doesn't
So
feel
we
like
have
it.
to say goodbyes. Um, and then yeah, and then she battles Zahir just chained up with her father in unison. Some great action there. And then yeah, Zahir Police head gets blown up and Zahir flies at the end. So much great character work done across different characters. Um, and Enter the Void is just like no holds bar, just everybody going at it. And then it and then it ends and that fight is just epic as heck. To me that fight has the pinnacle of American television animation where Korra Western and yeah, American, where Korra like she jumps, the camera is behind Korra, she jumps, fire projecting her, and then it tracks her, and then it tracks the here flying through. Like that is almost impossible to direct. I don't think you can even do that. That would be hard to pull off in a live action movie, um, let alone a fairly 2D uh, television series on Nickelodeon. Um, and then you end it with Cora being badly damaged, where she's stuck in a wheelchair, not knowing how her life's gonna go. She's in the bottom of the pits, and then you end it with her going to Janora's tattoo ceremony and Tenzin saying everything about how Korra inspired him, and then how they're gonna lead the new nation. How Janora was doing a lot, and then they unveil her, and then they airbend all the wind chimes and stuff, and the music kicks in, and it's such a beautiful moment. And then you see Korra crying, and it's just ah man, that these two episodes, these might be the I don't I can't even hyperbole. I don't think you can have hyperbole with these two episodes. But if I had to pick one, um, one set with me way more after I watched it, and that was Venom of the Red Lotus. Like I cried. Like I remember where I was at when I was watching. Like just a thought of me watching something on my phone because this was a time that like streaming wasn't a thing,
Yeah, we were watching
really.
straight up Nick.com, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. you,
I
you,
was at my kitchen table in Topeka, Kansas. I remember that much.
yeah. Like with the Nick.com on my phone watching it. Also, Korra, one day when is gonna make a video of how revolutionary Korra, Legend of Korra really is. Like this was the first big show to be streamed, even though it was all by accident. She holds. I don't think another one exists like this. Like it was solely streaming. It was not on because the ratings apparently were not better than a reruns of SpongeBob. So I remember watching it on my phone, sitting on the couch on my recliner, just rocking back, and then just tears falling down my face. Me trying to like cover it up because I don't feel like my wife asking me any questions about it. Me just being like, that was just like what's gonna happen? Like she sacrificed herself. So yeah, so to uh I'm giving it to Venom of the Red Lotus.
I mean, I got to
Yeah.
go with Enter the Void. Just I feel like Enter the Void is really great with or without Venom and the Red Lotus. But Venom and the Red Lotus is kind of dependent on before it. I don't know how else to pick other than I just like the huge moments in Enter the
Yeah.
Void. Love them.
I the thing is, for a while there,
The
Sean, I was like, oh yeah, maybe Enter the Void is better. But then I remember just the last
the feels.
4 minutes. Yeah, the feels hit me so hard, and they've just stuck with me.
That's totally
But
fair.
both episodes definitely deserve each the 10, the perfect tens. Both are really amazing.
There was no question as we were rating. I think it was about as fast as our ratings have ever come down. But
Yeah,
in short,
it's
what all this
interesting.
means is that The Legend of Korra and Avatar: The Last Airbender basically ruined all other cartoons for me. Because
The
even now, we've
thing
been
is,
talking about like Yu Yu Hakusho and things like that. It's like these other things that I'm very much enjoying. The only thing I can ever compare them to is like it's so much choppier than Avatar. It's like the sound
well, yeah,
design's
it's.
not as good as Avatar. Where's the music in this like Avatar? They've ruined everything for me, Chris.
I mean, you're thinking about these things were made. One thing, Yu Yu was made in like the late '80s or late
1989 or something
early
like that.
'90s.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard to put, but
Or
interesting
even
enough.
like
So,
Infinity Train's a more recent example. I really liked Infinity Train, but the
oh,
whole
I
time,
loved it.
yeah, but the whole time I'm straight up comparing it to Avatar. I was like, this feels like it's
That
missing a lot of detail.
I should really rewatch that.
I
I
could
love
use a
Infinity
rewatch.
Train.
I think I would take more away on my second. I loved the first season. After that, maybe a slight diminishing returns, but the first season I ate up.
I completely agree with. Well, I think which season is
I just
it?
slight
Season three. I
diminishing
love season
returns.
three. I think I love.
I don't want to overdo it,
I
but
think I go like. I think season one is like a 9 out of 10.
okay,
In
I'm with
my
you.
in my non and not comparing that to our scores of Avatar because Avatar is
Yeah, you
great
got
to
to
count
put it in
on
its own
Avatar
world.
scale. I think season one's like 9 out of 10, and then season two is like a 8, and then season three goes back to 9. I love season three
What's
with
is season 3 the one with what's his name
season three
Dracula
is with
the deer?
no, that's season two.
That's 2. Okay,
Yeah,
I can't think of
because
his
that's with
name.
her reflection. Season three is with the black girl and the white guy, and
Okay, I
like
remember that
he
one.
ends up. Yeah, I don't want to spoil that, but that gets a lot darker. I think.
It
And
does.
then I think season.
I didn't love it at first, but I feel like that one grew on me more as I was watching it. Like the early parts of it, I wasn't sold, but then by the time I got to the end, it had
Yeah,
grown on me a ton,
no, I
and it
think
was
that's
more
true. I think that's
revealing
how it's
even of the
supposed to.
earlier seasons. Like it kind of tied in some knowledge we didn't have. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I don't think I really liked the last season. To me, that was like a 7 out of
I'd put it
10.
on par with the second. I'm okay with saying one
Yeah,
and three similar and
yeah,
2 and 4 similar, but even again in the 1 and 3 category, it's like I would still choose one even if I rated them
yeah.
the same.
I
But
think that's fair.
you
I
know,
do love. Oh dang, I can't think of her
it's a great
name.
TV
The main
show.
character.
I
I love her, and I love One and the dog.
Yeah, 1's a lot of fun. He reminds me of
Yeah.
like the machine from Portal whose names I can't think of all of a sudden. But
Yes. Yeah.
anyway,
But anyway.
even
Uh,
my point being
oh,
is
I
that
was gonna
even
say.
modern cartoons with like high production
Mhm.
values, I would argue, I still never break my comparisons to Avatar: The
Yeah.
Last Airbender or Legend of Korra.
It's funny. The Netflix channel, the Netflix Twitter, whatever they're like, they have like a geek Netflix one. I don't know why they have a different Netflix Twitter for two different things. But one of them was like, "Hey, tell me your favorite episode, and I'll tell you the best episode of. Tell me your favorite show, and I'll tell you the best episode of it." And one person put Legend of Korra in it because I'm I like to say my own opinion about things. One person put Legend of Korra, then I wrote like, "Oh, the best episode of Legend of Korra is Venom of the Red Lotus." And then she wrote like, "Yeah, that was really good." I said, "Venom of the Red Lotus or Beginnings Part One and Two. That's the best episode of Legend of Korra." And then the Netflix Twitter, whoever runs it, said, "Yeah, Venom Red Lotus is great. That or either Long Live the Queen." And so like, even the official Netflix
Yeah,
account,
we were
yeah,
close, And interesting that both of those best episodes came from this season. The four
yeah.
things on this list. So,
I
and
really can't think of what other episode. I think even though some other episodes I'm sure will get perfect tens, I don't know which episode would be better than
The
these
best,
two.
again
Yeah, the
comparing
best of the
tins, but
two,
the
best of the
best.
best.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be tough, especially if you're really being picky about like, all right, but what did they do in a 20-minute segment? So not a 4 episode finale, not 80 minutes or 90 minutes by the time all is said and done, but 20 minutes. What did they do in that
Hmm.
time? So I think it's awesome. And Chris, we're going to talk. We should save some of our commentary for next week because if we haven't given it away already, because I'm stupid, we're gonna spend a little extra time talking about book 3 next week for New Year's. But I think that's probably enough for now. We'll save some of our commentary. Thank you so much for hanging out with us to talk about our best and worst episodes. Always fun to go back through these. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Chris, to you and your family as well. Thrilled to have survived another year of life to make it this far, doing podcasts and all that. And so thank you as well, Chris Ford. And thank you everybody out there who's listening, watching, supporting in whatever ways you're supporting. We really appreciate you.
Peace,
See you next time.
love, and so.